Hey, I wanted to go over this small time save and some cool information about these ghosts here in DLC 1. This is mostly only beneficial to all boss runners, but I feel it should just be kind of gone over. So first I'm just going to let this play out so you can kind of see what the thing is. It's about 5 seconds or so faster than the current method, and it also removes all ghost RNG for the most part, except like a small slight bit. Things you're going to be using is your bow, the alluring skull, and either a firebomb or a witching urn. To my knowledge, they're both the same consistency wise, and it'll be faster menuing for all boss runners to do witching urns. Um, it may be possible that firebombs are more consistent, but this itself isn't really inconsistent. So, first thing you do is, as usual, you'd shoot the button that would open the chest door, and then you're gonna run against the wall here on the left. So this rebel here is basically your visual cue, and it's very important. So this first rock here, you kind of want to stop as soon as you get to this rock. I went a little far up. You definitely don't want to do it very much before the rock. You kind of want to do it like as soon as you get to the rock, and then throw your luring skull forward against the wall on the left. If you do it too far up, two things can happen. The the chick up there can go ahead and cast spells on you, and you can get hit by a spell, which is annoying. And second of all, it can mess up the ghost manipulation. So to quickly go over ghost manipulation, these ghosts hear you and turn towards where they hear you running. They don't hear you walking; they only hear you running. Um, Anything that is in the direction of facing them, they will see and aggro onto you. So the trick here is to run at a certain point, face him towards where you're running, which is into the wall he's beside, and then you can literally just run right beside him and he won't see you. So to do this, um, you'd throw the skull here, and from this point on, you should be safe to just head forward. Don't run into the spikes. Just kind of run straight. There's some parts about this I don't fully understand yet. Sometimes he won't hear you running. I'm not sure why yet or whatnot. And you can judge this by the way his swords are on the corner. If you see the swords turn, then he heard you. If you didn't, then he didn't hear you, and he'll see you when you run beside him. So sometimes I found that helps if I'm running down this straight path and he's not turning. I'll run into the wall a little bit. Um, I found hugging the left wall is sometimes really nice to make sure he hears you. It's really weird, um, but it's consistent for the most part. But this is why if you throw the bomb too late in like too far up into the rebel, as soon as you start running, he might hear you and turn. Now the thing here is, after they hear you running and they don't see you, after like a second or so, probably less than a second, I don't know, they'll turn back to their normal resting place. During this time, as soon as they turn towards their first running sound they hear, during this time, any other running sounds will not trigger them until they're back into their initial resting place. So, when he turns and you run by him and past him, he won't hear any of the running you're doing. And by the time you're already gone and out of the way and he won't aggro onto you anymore, you'll be around the corner, he won't be able to see you. So, that ghost is basically gone out of the equation. For this next part, so this ghost on the right, if you hug the left wall like people do now, he'll just rush you as soon as you get towards the steps. However, since I can't see him, I'm only doing this based off my judgment. I found that running right against this wall here triggers his hearing to turn a specific way, to where when you run by him, he doesn't actually see you. He will walk out of the room slowly and turn around and face the direction you came from. So he will no longer rush you. And this is nice because you're basically free from more RNG, but also this gives us a really interesting opportunity. So, thanks to a video I found on YouTube, I learned that bombs can trigger the buttons, and KFN confirmed that witching urns work too after I posted this. So, um, I use a witching urn here just to show. You would run right, bump into that little corner, and then run by and run left a little bit to just make sure you get a good angle. And you throw the bomb on the corner of the wall. The explosion goes off, well, urn. The explosion goes off and triggers the button. This button opens the door to the bonfire. So when you turn around here, you'll see the ghost is running by or walking by and not facing you. This is the opportunity that you have to run by behind him and to the chest. He will not aggro you because he's doing that animation of turning around and facing or running. Turning around and facing where you're running. And it's kind of like a weird middle ground of patrolling. I'm not sure why it's like that, but it is. You don't want to go too fast on this part because we found that if you run and try to quickly throw the bomb and then run by him, he'll either you'll be too fast and he won't be turned around and he'll see you, or when you run behind him, there's a high chance that he'll turn around faster and see you while you're at the chest. So the best thing to do is take your time, make sure you get a good bomb placement, turn around and wait until he's actually turned around before you run behind him. You really don't need to wait any time. It's just don't overdo it with speed. And then as soon as you run in and hug the left wall, run to the chest. You hug the left wall just to make sure that he doesn't see you, because it is pretty weird how all this works. Then you pick up the dragon stone and climb the ladder, and you're literally free. The only RNG is sometimes he will turn around and see you while you're already at the chest, or maybe when you're picking up the item and running to the ladder. Those are the only two RNG spots, and you have so much room at that point that it's pretty easy to dodge his attack and go up. So, there you go. Enjoy.